Which one? Overloading, yeah, even overloading done. After that, overriding is completed. Then inheritance, yeah, inheritance also completed, right? Single, multi-level, and multiple. Only single is completed. Okay, I can open your project. I can understand. Yeah, let me open your. Which one we discussed? Child, yeah. I think we complete inheritance, right? We didn't talk about which one. Single is done, then only single inheritance is completed, not level inheritance. Is this required for experienced candidate? Which one is required for experienced candidate? Even you are experienced in manual testing, you don't know, then it is required. If you know this, training itself is not required. if you if you know everything, training itself is not required, right? So for experienced people also, I have in morning batch, I have one resource who is having 6+ years of experience in IT industry. He is still coming for training to learn the automation. Continuously 6 years in only manual testing. There is no growth, no salary, big hike. There is no much growth, no opportunity to learn technical aspect of you. So he still, so he wanted to change his career into automation. If you get at automation, then only you will get good salary when you jump the company. If you don't, if you have 6 experience with the manual testing, 90%, 60% will not even get a calls. If you get a call also, they will not give you a big hike. I mean, there will not be much growth from the salary point of view. If you go with the automation experience, then you will get nice jump in your salary. Okay. Real time work, yeah, it is required for real time only. See, prerequisite is whatever we are learning, it is for real time only. I will explain you whatever you are learning here. While explaining the Selenium, you have to recap whatever we discussed for Java. Why are we discussing Java now before Selenium? Because it's a prerequisite. Prerequisite means it is needed. If you wanted to go for Selenium, it is needed. If you don't know Java, it is difficult to go with the Selenium. Okay. Selenium contains what? WebDriver. Example, WebDriver. WebDriver is what? Interface. Maybe today's session or tomorrow session, we'll try to understand what is interface, why we use. WebDriver itself is one interface. So if you don't know what is interface, why we use interface, what interface contains, right? Purpose of the interfaces. If you don't know that, then it is difficult to understand WebDriver itself. What is the core component of the Selenium? Major component is WebDriver. WebDriver is what? Interface. So those are things we are trying to learn before jumping into the Selenium. There will be lot of inheritance concept in Selenium. Okay. Now let's move on. So we talked about inheritance. I think we talked about single inheritance, right? How many types of inheritance we have? 4 types: single, multi-level, multiple, hybrid. Single means father and child. Multi-level means father, child, and then child. And if you, so grandfather, father, and child. So father will get properties from father. Father will get properties from grandfather. Child will get properties from father. Simple real-time concept, right? If your grandfather has given some properties to your father, you will get those properties from father to you. Same concept here. Property is what? Code. Property means code. Major purpose of inheritance is what? Reusability of the code. Someone is written, you just go ahead and use. Example, yesterday we have written one program for length of the string. What is a length? Predefined method. What it is trying to do? It is getting the length of the string. How many characters you have in the string, right? Today I did not wait for you. I started. Okay. So your project environment should be like, working culture. So sometimes some project manager or some test managers are very serious and very rude. You don't feel like work environment. If you say someone is, let's say, I'm I'm a test manager. I already work for multiple projects. If someone is my project, they feel very comfortable. So most of the time I'm approachable. You should be always approachable. You should not sit like this and tell me what you want. Then do you think you are approachable? You should be always approachable so that your team can feel comfortable with you to talk. If they even feel to talk to you, it's not a work environment. The culture has to be changed. You go, let's say one resource wanted to come into my project. If they always inquire, hey, how is that project? How is the test manager? Oh, you're going Ashok? Aram se go. And one more, let's say one resource going from my project to another project. I'm just giving an example. They will inquire. If the guy is already in company for so many years, they have a lot of network in a company. They inquire, how is that project? How is that? Oh, you are going there? You have any option to select another project? Try it out. If you don't have option, then search for the job outside, because you will not survive there. So what I'm saying is your work environment, maybe tomorrow after getting 15, 20 or 10 plus years experience, you also become a manager. Today you are trying as a fresher. After 10 years, I can definitely see you as a manager. When you become a manager, remember these words. You should be approachable. You should provide approachable culture and working culture. You should also give priority to their personal life. You cannot be very rude. Okay. If my boss is giving pressure, I never ever used to give pressure to my team. I just keep that pressure with me. I'll tell them and talk to them politely. This is what client is expecting. We need to spend some 1 or 2 hours extra per day. This is the way of professional approach. You should work 2 hours extra from tomorrow. If someone is behaving with me like, I will ask, do you pay me for extra 2 hours? Then I'll work. See that how you are approaching, response also will be in the same manner. I think for you that's not a working environment, right? So for how many projects you changed? Now it is now it is good. That's attending that. Yeah, even I used to do. If anyone want to go, I always used to get one email. Every company will have trainings. Every company will give some trainings. If my resource is working only on manual testing for so many years, I call that resource and tell them, you manage your work. For me, deliverables are important. For you, training is also important to grow your career. As a best manager, you need to look at the resource career also. You should not see always like, you should not see always like, okay, she is with me for 6 years, only manual testing. That's good for me, because she will not get opportunities outside. She cannot change the job. And I'm fine. She is working from six years in the same project. She is very good knowledge. You don't need to be like that way. You need to also encourage the resources to grow them personally. I mean, technical side. Don't be like, whenever you get a chance to opportunity training, and I directly send an email to everyone saying that it's a 2 hours training every day, Monday to Friday. Nominate yourself, attend the training. But in the bracket, I'll put note, make sure there is no impact to deliverables. So you cannot come and tell me 2 hours extra I spend you just because you told me I'll not work 2 hours for project. If you say that, I will not send you the training. Okay. So let's move on. Inheritance, we understand. Always try to be approachable candidate. If you are approachable, people will feel comfortable with you to open up whatever they're having. Some people are taking that as an advantage and behaving a different manner basically. Okay, multi-level, I just said, I think I explained, asked you to write a program, right, for this one? No, I did not ask you. Okay. So you have a class called grandfather. Father extends the grandfather. Child extends father. Child extends father. Child will get properties of father, also grandfather, by using the father. Now, grandfather has some method. That method will come to father. Father also has his own method, right? And then child will get the methods of father. Means automatically father is getting methods from grandfather. You mean you will get those properties from father to child. It includes both. Child will include both the methods, father as well as grandfather. Okay. Now, yesterday we did one example for child, right? Let me change this code to understandable with the real time. Okay. Now I'll have a class called login. I'll have a class called login. I wanted to write a method verify login. So here I have to write a code for login. Login code. Now this is called what class extends login. Now this I will call it as add beneficiary. To add beneficiary, what you need? To add beneficiary, you need to log in. Can you add beneficiary without login? You cannot log in without adding the beneficiary. So what I'm trying to do, why it is giving an error? What is my class name? File name child.java. What is my class name? Add ben. So what you have to change? Rename the file. Just click it here. This will become add beneficiary.java. So which class you have to create an object? This should be which method you have to call here? Verify login. This should be verify add beneficiary. So this is what exactly usage of inheritance in real time. Are you guys getting? One tester has written one class called login, and the tester already one tester is written class called as login, and I have a method called verify login. So this I'm writing the coding for logging into my application. Now I have one more tester which is called he or she wanted to write a coding for adding the beneficiary, right? Now I'm writing a class called add beneficiary. I have one method called add beneficiary. This class will have his own methods. Okay. Extending login means I can use this login method. So what I'm trying to do, I don't need to write a coding again for I'll ask you to allow you to log into application for adding the beneficiary. This is the code for adding. This is for add beneficiary code. Okay. So this is how let's say I have 100 testers team. If you are working for a very big project, you will also have 100 testing team members. All 100 tester will be assigned user stories or keep on automating. You need to look at which one is useful for you. Just go and extend the class. Just go and extend the class to reuse it. So this is called unable to hear me. Maybe some internet issues. So I'm not sure. Not clear. I don't know this guy. Babu? Okay. Some tester will write some coding. If that coding is reusable to you, just go ahead and reuse that particular code. Okay, you don't need to write every time login. I have 100 tester need not to write the login. Consider if you do not have inheritance concept. If you do not have inheritance concept, what you are going to do? 100 testers has to log in every time, right? Now we'll understand the what you call, what is that? What is that? Single inheritance, multi-level. This example is for single inheritance. One class is extending another class. Okay. Now I'm going to create one more class, new class. Okay, new class called multi-level inheritance. Click on finish. Example, rather than modifying again. You understood the concept, right? Grandfather, father, and child. Now I'll put this as transfer funds. Okay. And before to that, I already have some classes. Now you'll have one class called, I'll copy. I think this will not allow to use the same name. Let's try. It says login already exists. Copy it. Okay, you already have login code. One class is there. Then you also have one more class, which is nothing but add beneficiary, which extends login. Now you'll have one more class called class add beneficiary extends login. Okay, now syntax error class, but okay. Now this add beneficiary is having what? Add beneficiary method, right? Okay, now I have two classes. One class is login and another, even now voice is breaking. Is it audible to everyone or it is only issue with one person? Is it audible everyone? Yes, clear. I think someone it's audible, someone it's, you know, it's clear. I think most of the people are saying it's audible and very clear. Okay, now it's okay, fine. Okay, now I have a class login which we already discussed, and it is having one login method, and I have another class called add beneficiary. Add beneficiary is having what? Verify add beneficiary, which is the code for adding the beneficiary. Now I have one more class called transfer funds. This will extend which class? Add beneficiary. Extends add beneficiary. Are you guys getting what I'm doing? If some testers see these three are given as separate test cases. One tester login, another tester automation for adding beneficiary, another tester transfer fund. So the guy who is writing a transfer fund can directly use the code of login and directly use the code of add beneficiary, and they can write their own code. So what I will have my own code, verify transfer funds. Why error? Okay, what is error? Why? Okay, now I'll just say I'll have to add the code for transfer funds. Okay, now I have to create an object. For which class I have to create object? Login, add beneficiary, and transfer funds. For which one I have to create object? Transfer funds. We always create object to the last subclass. Okay. obj dot verify login. First, I have to call which method login so that I can log into application first. And then after that, obj dot add beneficiary. After that, transfer funds. Okay. Now, first, which method it will execute? Login. Login coming from which class? Login class. Add beneficiary, verify add beneficiary is coming from which class? From add beneficiary class. Transfer funds coming within the class itself. Why it is giving an error for verify, sorry, for login and beneficiary? Because login class already exists. Same package, you already have one class with the same name. It will not allow you to create another package, another class with the same name. So just give login one. Just changing the class name here, okay? Login one and then beneficiary one, add beneficiary one. Sometimes if you don't save, it will not go error. There is no error after saving. It is removing the error. Now I have to change this one to login one. This one I have to change it to add beneficiary one. Is it clear now? Same concept. Instead of here grandfather, father and child, I am putting grandfather as a, and then the child is having, child is nothing but child is nothing but transfer fund. This is what type of inheritance it is? Multi-level inheritance. Single means father and child. Multi-level means grandfather, father and child. Next one is multiple inheritance. What do you mean by multiple inheritance? Multiple classes inheriting at a time. Here, one after one. What we are doing here? First, add beneficiary is extending login. Transfer funds is extending add beneficiary. But when it comes here, right? When it comes to multiple inheritance means more than multiple classes are extending together. Multiple classes are extending together. You have class A, you have a class B, you have a class C. Extends A comma B. I'm saying extends A comma B. It is not possible in Java. It is not possible. Multiple inheritance is not supported by Java directly, but it will be supported indirectly. Okay. Now this is in Java, you cannot extend more than one class at a time. Here, how many classes I'm trying to extend? 2 classes. It is not possible. You cannot extend more than one class at a time. You can extend at a time only one class. Okay. Now make a note. Using super we already done. Okay. Make a note. Java does not support multiple Java does not support multiple inheritance. Java does not support multiple inheritance directly. Java does not support multiple inheritance directly. What does that mean? Indirectly, it is possible. Directly, it is not possible. Directly in the sense, like what I said, class cannot extend more than one class at a time. Continuation. However, we can achieve multiple inheritance. However, we achieve multiple inheritance indirectly. We can achieve multiple inheritance indirectly using interfaces. Interfaces. Using interfaces concept. Using interfaces concept. It's connected to mobile data. Morning also I connected. I don't know now my bandwidth will be there or it will disconnect. I don't know. Naresh, same thing. Daily, whichever I connect, I connecting the same thing. Now I connected to this because it was coming, not coming. Okay. What do you mean by it will not support directly? It means you cannot do it directly, but you can do it indirectly. Indirectly, you can achieve the multiple inheritance using what? Interfaces. Okay. That's about the inheritance. Any questions on inheritance? I think I already explained with the real time. Login, add beneficiary, then add beneficiary will extend, login, and transfer funds will extend, add beneficiary. Add beneficiary will automatically get the code of login because it is extending. Now, when transfer funds extending add beneficiary, transfer fund will get two methods. One is login and as well as add beneficiary. You can write your only code for transfer fund. This is what we are going to do. Wherever it is possible, try to use the inheritance concept. Wherever applicable, try to use the inheritance. Okay. Who's that phone? Same ringtone like me. Yeah. Okay. Make a note. Today we will talk about abstract class. Whatever you made a note, right? Multiple inheritance. Mostly interview ask question. Does Java supports multiple inheritance? Answer is yes. It supports indirectly, but not directly. The next question will trigger how it is going to support using interfaces. We will discuss about interfaces. Before talking about interfaces, you need to understand abstract class. Okay. Make a heading abstract class. Make a heading abstract class. Method overriding. Did we talk about super keyword and all? Okay, then hold on. We will talk about method overriding. Then we will go for the abstract class. See, method overloading, mostly they might ask you the difference between overloading and overriding. First, make an interview ask question. Difference between, first make interview ask question. Difference between method overloading and overriding. Difference between method overloading and overriding. So you guys already know the method overloading, right? So what is method overloading? In compile time, it's compile time polymorphism. Okay. Overriding is runtime polymorphism. Okay. Multiple methods, more than one method with the same name in the same class. That is the overloading. More than one method with the same name in the same class is called as a method overloading. Overriding also same concept. Two methods will have the same name, but one method is in the superclass, one method is in the subclass. One method is in superclass, one method is in subclass. That is called method overriding. I will let you can note down later. Now the first thing is what is the purpose of overriding? Overloading purpose you understand, right? It is easy to remember with one function name rather than remembering with multiple function name. Just remember with one function name. Now, when it comes to overriding, whenever using inheritance, I said once inheritance completed, we'll talk about overriding. So what is overriding? Why did they introduce the overriding? Now, example, we took one example, login class. What it is having? Login method. Login method is having what? Coding to write, coding to logging in. Now, class add beneficiary is doing what? Extending the login class. Now, what add beneficiary can do? It can only use the method. It can only use the method. It cannot, add some coding. The method is already written. I can go and use that code. I can go and use that particular code. Can I go and enhance that login method? Login method will be available in the subclass. I have to go and use it. But overriding concept is I wanted to use that login code. I also wanted to enhance my code. I also wanted to enhance some coding to that login. So first point I wanted to use about the code as it is coming from superclass to subclass. But in my subclass, I will enhance, I will add some more code to the method that is coming from the overriding. Most of the time in automation, we may not use that much of overriding. Most of the time we'll use overloading, right? So I'll give an example. Let's say I'm a developer, I'm writing a coding particularly specific to animals. I wanted to write a coding which talks about common features of animals. I wanted to talk about common features of animals. I have written a class called animal. Under that, I have written a method called animals, and I will write about some common features. All animals can whatever, some coding specific to related to animals. Now I am writing. I am another developer. I wanted to write coding specific to dog. I wanted to write a coding specific to dog. Dog also comes under category of what? Animals. Dog also comes under category of animals. Now what I wanted to do, someone is already written a code. Someone is already written a code which is talking about animals. So do you think I need to write again from the beginning to talk about animals? I don't need to write it. So what I will do, I will extend the class. Once I extend the class, dog class extends animals, and you will get method of animals class into the subclass. Now in the subclass, I also have to put the same method name. Always remember, superclass method name, subclass method name must be same. Then only it is considered as a overriding. Okay. And when I extend that superclass method, I will get two methods. One method is coming from the superclass. One method I'm going to write same name, right? So now what is going to happen? First I will execute, I want to execute about superclass method. Then I wanted to execute the subclass method. Then I wanted to execute subclass method. Subclass method talking about specific to dogs. Superclass method talking about specific to animals. Before I am talking about dog, I wanted to talk about animals, right? Before talking about dog, I wanted to talk about animal. So now, how many classes you have? Two classes. One is the superclass, one is the subclass. Both the classes are having the same method. Both the classes are having same method. Then only we call that as a overriding, right? And now to which class we create an object? As per the normal process, we always create object to the subclass. We always try to create object for subclass. How many methods the subclass is having? Two methods. One is coming from superclass. One is coming from subclass. Both the method names are same. Let's assume method 1. Superclass method name is method 1. Subclass method is also method 1. To which class we are creating object? We are creating object to the subclass, which is called dog. I'll say dog obj equal to new dog. So we are creating object for class called dog. When I say obj dot method 1, when I say obj dot method 1, which method it will execute? Superclass 1 or subclass 1? Superclass. How many uses superclass? How many uses subclass? You got my question? You have class animal having method 1, class 2 having same method, method 1. Now as per normal process, we always create object to the subclass. Now I'm creating an object for which class? Dog. Dog class is having what? Two method 1s. Method 1 coming from superclass, from animal class. Method 1 again itself in the same class, in the dog. Two methods with the same name, because whenever you are extending the class, you will, that method also will come to the subclass. Now I created object for which class? Subclass, like say dog. So which method it will execute? Method 1 from superclass or method 1 from the subclass? Which method it will execute? Compile time error. There is no error. You have only two answers. One is superclass, or you don't need to give detailed explanation. Option A, superclass. Option B, subclass. If you are selecting option A, I will ask you why. If you are selecting option B also, I will ask you why. Huh? For which class we are creating an object? Subclass. Local class. Local is local. Topmost is priority is given for the local. Topmost priority is always given to the local. So which method it is going to execute? Subclass method. If it is executing subclass method, what is the purpose of overriding? If it is executing subclass, what it will execute? It will talk about dog. Subclass method is talking specific to dog. What is the overriding purpose? First you talk about animals, then you talk about dog. First you talk all these are the animals, etc., etc., and then specific to dog. Are we achieving overriding here? Because it is always executing the subclass. Subclass is always talking about the dog, which I don't want. I wanted to talk first about animals, then talk about dog. So what is the next option? Eclipse screen is not visible. I'm not sharing the clips. I'm just overly talking and explaining. Okay. I'm not showing a program. Okay. Let me open the Eclipse now. Now, I think this is already discussed in the previous batch. Now, what do you have an option to execute the superclass? You have one option, create an object for the superclass. Create object for the superclass. First call, like create an object for animal obj equal to new animal. So it will create an object for animal class. Then you say obj dot method one, which will go and it is an object for which class? Superclass. So first it will execute the superclass, then create an object for the subclass, then again call subclass object with method name. Then it is going to execute the subclass, right? So what the problem here is? The problem is you're unnecessarily allocating the memory by creating an object to the superclass, which we don't want it to do. So we have a keyword called super keyword. In method overriding, we have a keyword called super keyword. So this already discussed. Okay. Now this is example what I was explaining. Okay. Just I will remove this keyword. This is example what I was trying to explain. I have a class called animals. This class is having what code to describe about animals. You are describing particularly specific to the animals, right? And then you have class dog. You have a class dog, which is extending animals class. And the subclass, now you need to understand overriding. Superclass method name, subclass method name should be same. Superclass method name and subclass method name should be same. Then only it is called as a overriding. Otherwise, it is not considered as overriding. Okay. First rule is superclass method, subclass method must be same name. It cannot have a different name. Now, as said, for which class we create an object? Subclass. So I'm creating an object for the class dog. Now, when I say obj.animals, this will have two methods. One is from superclass, one is from subclass. So now try to run it. Which one it will execute? Subclass one. It will talk about code to describe only about dog. Are we achieving it here? We are not achieving. So one option, create an object for superclass and call that object. It will execute this method. I don't want it to do that. So what I can do here, I'll just put super.animals. Super is a keyword. Super is a keyword which represents to the superclass, which represents to the superclass. So first what I'm saying, I'm calling this method. When I call a method, where it will come? It will come to the definition. In definition, first line, what I'm putting? Super.animal. So super means it tries to understand what is the superclass for this class. What is the superclass for this class? Animals is the superclass. Animals is the superclass. When I say super.animals, it will go to the superclass. It searches for a method called animals and it is going to execute this particular method. First, it will execute this and then it will continue rest of the lines of code in subclass. Just try to run it. Now here it is talking, describing about animals. Then it is talking about dog. So this is how you can achieve overriding. Question number 1. Do I need to put this super dot animals in the first only? Or can I put it in the last? I'll put it in the last. There is no rule you should put in the first. Right? Now what will happen when you run it? What will happen? First, which method you are calling? You are calling of animals method. I said it will go to subclass. It is already going to the subclass. First line, what you have? First line is talking about dog. Then you are calling the super. First one is talking about dog. Then you are talking about animals. Do you think this is the way how you want? This is how you want to achieve? Just try to run it. First, it will talk about the dogs. Then you are calling it, then it will go on top. So there is no rule that super should be in the first line. There is no rule that it should be the last line. It is common sense that we have to put it in the first line. Why we have to put it in the first line? Because first I wanted to execute the superclass method, not the subclass. Is it clear? This is called overriding. Overloading, overriding, same concept. Method name is same. Overloading, overriding, same concept. Name is same. But in overloading, class is same. Within the same class. Within the same class, you will have multiple methods. You see method overloading, what we are doing? We are putting multiple methods here called add. All these methods coming in where? One class, which is called method overloading. But what is happening here? Same name. What is my method name in superclass? Animals. What is my method name in subclass? Animals. Name is same, but superclass and subclass. It should not be the same class. That is the first difference what you have. Second one is whatever signature you have in the superclass. Now animals is not taking any parameters. Animals in the superclass is not taking any parameters. Subclass also should not take any parameters. It should be replica, same to same. If that is not taking parameter, this should not also taking the parameters. Okay, mostly interview ask question, difference between overloading and overriding. One is same class, another one is superclass and subclass. Method overloading typically always works with the different parameters. Overriding, same, whatever is defined in the superclass, you should use the same thing. Try to put this question, difference between method. See, automatically you will get it. Difference between method overloading and overriding. You just put it. Just check the differences what you have. Method overloading is a compile time polymorphism. I think you said that. Runtime polymorphism, method overriding is a runtime polymorphism. That is one difference. Second difference, it helps to increase the readability of the program. Add means you keep on adding the numbers. It is used to grant the specific implementation of the method, which is already provided by its parent class or superclass. It means it is used to grant the specific implementation. Specific implementation means what I'm talking about the dog. I'm implementing my own code by using the superclass code, specific implementation. That's what these guys are trying to mention. Okay. Method overloading occurs within the class. Overloading occurs within the class. It is performed in two classes with instance relationship. Instance relationship means object, superclass and subclass. Method overloading may or may not require inheritance. Overloading within the same class, right? So it doesn't matter whether you are inheriting or you are not inheriting. Method overriding always needs inheritance concept. Overriding always needs inheritance concept. In method overloading, methods must have the same name and different signatures, different parameters. Signatures mean different parameters. But when it comes to method overriding, method overloading, methods must have the same name and same signature. Name should be same, signature should be same. That's what we are trying to mention, right? Both should be the same, right? And static binding is used for overloading method. Dynamic binding is used for overriding. Same thing, static riding, and static means compile time. Over dynamic means overriding. There are so many differences in order to have argument list should be different. Argument means parameter list should be different when you guys are using method overriding. Argument list be same in method overriding. I'm saying if it is not taking any parameters, this should not also take any parameters. If that is taking the parameters, this should also take the parameters. But parameter count and type should match. It should be always same. When it comes to overriding, it is reverse. Sorry, when it comes to overloading, it should be different parameters only. That is how it is going to work. Overriding, it should be same parameters. Okay, is it clear? I think main overloading. One example, I said you write a program to have two mains in one class. I have system dot this one main and this is another main. I am putting two mains. This is called main overloading. Can I overload the main method? Can I overload main method? Answer is yes. If I say answer is yes, I'm putting two main methods. I'm saying second main method and this is the first main. In first main, what I am trying to do, I'm trying to add two numbers and trying to display the result of sum. Second main method, I'm not writing anything. One is taking parameters, one is not taking any parameters. Which one it will execute? The first one. Okay. Now try to run it. In main method, I'm putting first which one is called. I'm putting in main method, which is called by JVM. After that, second main method is execute. I'm calling the main here. I'm calling the main. First, it is executing this line, means it is coming to the main method first one. Then I'm calling the main method. So it is going to the main method. How do you call a main method? It's a static. Directly call with the function name. No object is needed. Okay. I'll put this also into your code. Just remind me before leaving the class. We will try to put it in Google Class. Okay. Now make any questions on abstract class? So on abstract class, but overriding. Mostly asked question, difference between compile time and runtime. Okay. Method overloading is compile time. Overriding is runtime. Method overloading must have different parameters. Method overriding must have same parameter. Signature, don't use same parameter, just say signature should match. Signature means what is the signature? Prototype. I mean, if taking parameters, same parameters. Overloading is applicable in the same class. Overriding is applicable in two different classes, superclass and subclass. Overriding, you always use super keyword. Overloading doesn't require any super keyword. Okay, just explaining these much are fair enough. You don't need to explain more than that. Okay. Now make a note, abstract class. Make a note, abstract class. Abstract class. Abstract class. A class that contains at least one abstract method. A class that contains at least one abstract method. At least one abstract method. Then that class is called as abstract class. A class contains at least one abstract method, then that is called as abstract class. What is abstract method? I said a class that contains one abstract method, that is called as a class that contains at least one abstract method, then that class is called as a abstract method. What is abstract method? Okay, continuation of the line, make a note. Abstract class can contain abstract methods. Abstract class contains abstract methods. As well as abstract class contains abstract methods as well as non-abstract methods. Abstract methods and non-abstract methods. Okay. Next, make a heading abstract method. Abstract method. Abstract method is the one. Abstract method is the one. Abstract method is the one to which no definition is provided. To which no definition is provided. To which no definition is provided. Full stop. The next one. Same line, continuation. Any class that extends abstract class. Any class that extends abstract class. Any class that extends abstract class should provide definition of abstract method. I repeat, a class that extends abstract class. A class that extends abstract class should provide definition to abstract method. Should provide definition to abstract method of superclass. Abstract method of superclass. Abstract method of superclass. Is it clear? Now, what is an abstract class? Abstract class is a class which should contain at least one abstract method. What is abstract method? Abstract method is the one to which there is no definition. Abstract method is the one to which there is no definition provided. What is abstract? Abstract class contains abstract methods as well as non-abstract methods. Non-abstract method means normal method. Non-abstract method means normal. If you are getting confused in the bracket, you can mention non-abstract method. In the bracket, you mention normal functions. Okay. Now, let me declare. Then what I said, if any class that is extending the abstract class. Now we talked about inheritance, right? Extending one class to another class. What is my class here? Abstract class. Any class is extending the abstract class. Any class extending the abstract class. That class means extending means it will become a subclass, right? Any class extending the abstract class should provide definition of abstract method from superclass. Okay. Now let's try to write one program. Okay, this I already have. I can put it here. Now I have one class called abstract class example. Don't think class name must start with abstract. It can be class name, can be any name. Always remember class name can be any name. Don't think this is an abstract class, so I have to give my class name with abstract. Answer is no. It can be any name. Now I'll remove this abstract. I'm creating one abstract class. Just remove this and then remove this also. Now, abstract class is a class which contains at least one abstract method. What is abstract method? To which no definition is provided. to which no definition is provided. So method 1, is there any definition for method 1? I'm just declaring a method and I'm putting a semicolon. So you are not giving any definition. It means method 1 is a abstract method here. Method 1 is abstract method because you are not giving any definition. And abstract class can contain abstract methods as well as non-abstract methods. So method 2, I have method 2 to which I'm providing the definition. I have method 2 to which I'm providing the definition. The definition means opening and closing. So class abstract class example containing one abstract method, one non-abstract method. Now a class contains abstract method. A class contains abstract method. It is called as abstract class. Now why it is giving me an error? Because if you want to consider this method as a abstract method, you have to use abstract keyword. Now it is adding what? Abstract method must be added with the keyword abstract. Not must be. When it comes to interfaces, it will be slightly different. Okay. This method 1 is called as abstract method because there is no definition. If it is an abstract method, you have to add keyword called abstract. You should add the keyword abstract. If a class contains one abstract method, that class will become abstract class. So you have to add abstract keyword to the class. Is it clear now? Okay. Now what is the next definition? A class which is extending the abstract class. A class which is extending the abstract class should provide definition. Should provide definition of the abstract method which is coming from the superclass. Now XYZ is a class which is extending the abstract class. Abstract class means you have method 1. And for method 1, I should provide the definition. Any class that is extending the abstract class, it should provide the definition. It should provide the definition of abstract method from superclass. So one class is extending abstract class. Which class? XYZ. So abstract class contains what? Abstract method. Which method is abstract? Method 1. So what is subclass? XYZ. Subclass should provide definition. Subclass should provide definition for abstract method. That's why I'm providing definition for abstract method. This class can have his own methods, method 3, etc. Is it clear? Now try to run this code. First, what we are calling? First, we are calling method 1. Method 1 is coming from, what is this method 1? Abstract method. That is coming from the superclass. So we are extending, so we are providing definition, right? Then we are calling method 2. Method 2 is also coming from abstract class. Method 2 is an abstract method. Method 2 is not a abstract method, normal method. Abstract class can contain what? Abstract methods as well as non-abstract method. Method 1 is abstract, method 2 is non-abstract method. Okay. Is it clear? Now what will happen if I don't provide definition? I'm saying a class that is extending. I'm saying the class that is extending the abstract class should provide definition. What will happen if I don't provide definition? Understand the inheritance concept. Whenever you extend a class, whatever you have in the superclass will be available in the subclass. Is it clear? Inheritance. Whatever you have in superclass, that will be available in the subclass. We already discussed. Add beneficiary is extending login class. Add beneficiary class getting method called login from login class. Now here what you are doing, XYZ class is extending abstract class, right? XYZ is extending the abstract class. Now if I don't provide the definition, whatever you have, you provide a definition or you don't provide a definition, inheritance concept. Whenever you extend, whatever you have in the superclass will be available in the subclass, right? Now if I'm not providing the definition, what will happen? What do you have in the abstract class? Two methods. One is method 1, which is an abstract method. Another one is method 2, which is a non-abstract method. Method 2 is not a abstract method. It is a non-abstract method. So Method 1 will be available to XYZ class. Method 2 also will be available for XYZ class. When I say method 1 will be available to subclass XYZ, method 1 will become already abstract method. So XYZ also will have one abstract method. So you would have got an error here. It says declare XYZ as an abstract. If you don't provide the definition, XYZ class also will become an abstract class. Point number 1, any class extending the abstract class should provide definition of abstract method. Point number 2, if you don't provide definition, then subclass also becomes abstract class. Why? Because method 1 is already derived. Method 1, method 2 both are derived. Method 1 is what? Abstract method. So XYZ is having what? Abstract method. So that's why it is saying XYZ must be declared as abstract method. You can make a note. I just forgot to mention. Make a note. We cannot create object. We cannot create object. We cannot create object to abstract class. We cannot create object to the abstract class. We cannot create object to the abstract class. Creating an object is what? Instantiation. Creation of an object is nothing but instantiation. People might ask you an interview ask question. Can you instantiate an abstract class? Don't confuse. Instantiation is nothing but creation of object only. Okay. Why this class will become an abstract? Not providing the definition. If not providing definition, what will happen? Method 1 will be available here also. What is the method 1? Abstract. If it is having abstract method, XYZ also becomes. See, it is giving a fix. Make XYZ also abstract. It is asking you to add this XYZ also abstract. Now again, one more error in line number 15. One more error in why? What is XYZ now? Abstract class. Why error in the line number 15? What are we doing in line number 15? We are creating object. Line number 15, we are creating an object. XYZ is what? Abstract class. Can you create an object? So what it is saying? It will say cannot instantiate. Instantiate means I said it is nothing but a object. It is saying cannot create an object. Cannot instantiate the type XYZ. Why? XYZ is a abstract class. Why XYZ is become an abstract? Because it is extending the abstract class. Abstract class will contain what? Abstract method. It's a bit lengthy, but once you understand, simple as it is. Concept number 1, a class which contains at least one abstract class, one abstract method, it is abstract class. What is abstract method? Abstract method is the one which contains, which does not contain any definition. Any class extending the abstract class should provide the definition. What I am doing here, I am not providing the definition. You don't provide the definition, what will happen? This class also become an abstract class. If it is an abstract class, you cannot create a object. As simple as, okay. Let me do Control Z. Yeah. Now let me execute. I think I already executed. Yeah. Any question? I already given you clear detailed notes. Abstract class, at least one. Don't think it should contain only one. At least one abstract method. And it contain non-abstract methods also. Okay. Is it clear? Or any questions? Mostly interview ask question. Difference between abstract class and interface. Tomorrow, you don't need to note down now. Tomorrow, I will give you the question. Once we discuss the interfaces, then you will have a clarity. You will have answer for your question. Tomorrow, we will start with the interfaces. Selenium contains what? WebDriver. Did you guys hear Selenium? Selenium contains WebDriver. Multiple components. IDE, RC, WebDriver, and Grid. Selenium contains multiple components. Out of 4 components, which is the major component? WebDriver. WebDriver itself is an interface. WebDriver itself is a interface. Tomorrow we will discuss about the interfaces. What is the difference between abstract class and interface? Interface contain only abstract methods. That is the first difference. Abstract class contains what? Abstract class contains abstract methods as well as non-abstract methods, but interfaces contain only abstract method. Means no definition. You put only the methods. There is no definition for the abstract method. Then the question comes. Okay, I will give you a chance you to ask the question. Any questions on abstract class? Think about it. I'll put that. Meanwhile, I'll put these examples in Google Class. XYZ, main overloading, dog. And we also discussed one more thing, right? Transfer funds. What is the class name? Overloading, dog, overriding, XYZ. These three things what we discussed today, right? Yeah, I think transfer funds, multi-level inheritance. Now, think about it. You should get one question in abstract class. Okay, I'll give one hint. Abstract class contains what? Abstract method. Did I put previous class examples? Okay. Implement and call. We are calling, right? Here we are already calling the abstract method. Same, but you have to call it only after implementation. There is no implementation. What is the use calling? I think online added some. Why we should use abstract methods without definition? Why we use abstract? What is the use of abstract class and abstract method? Result of the program I already executed. You have saw that. Why should I write a method which should not contain any definition? That should be the question. I said no definition. You said okay, go ahead. I said make a note, no definition. Okay, noted. I said this is abstract class. This is abstract method. Okay, done. I said provide definition in the subclass. Very good. I said don't provide definition. Then I said what will happen? Extreme, excellent. Why no questions? People will ask you when you go for interview. They will ask you what is the use of interface. When they talk about use of interface, interface contains what? Only abstract methods. It does not have any definitions. It does not have any. What is the use? Why I create something method called abstract? Why I should not give a definition? Then why someone has to give the definition? I want all of you guys before coming tomorrow's session, go through some YouTube video. Go through some YouTube video, understand what is the abstract method, what is the use. Search with that. Second YouTube video, what is the purpose of interfaces? I know you may not get anything. That I will assure you. You watch 2-3 videos. If you understand, you will get only maybe 50 to 60% you can understand. I can show you practical explanation why abstract method, why an interface, only once WebDriver is started. WebDriver itself is interface. It contains only method. It does not contain any definition. Then who is giving the definition? Who is giving the definition? Some of the method definition Google people are giving. Some of the definitions Microsoft team is giving the definition. Some of the method definition, which company? Firefox, Mozilla people are giving. We will discuss with practical 100% real-time usage of the interfaces when it comes to Selenium WebDriver. But till then, before we start the interfaces, try to go through the some YouTube videos relate. 2 videos you watch it. What is the purpose of abstract method? Second video is what is the purpose of interfaces. Try to see if you can understand. Anyhow, I'm there to explain tomorrow. I will anyhow explain you. Just see if you can understand it. Okay. Where is that share? I already put all the examples in the Google class. What we discussed today, you can access it.
Recording stopped.
Most of the time, no trainer will ask you to go and watch YouTube videos. They are afraid. If you watch more, you will get more questions. But I'm telling, go and watch. Come up with the questions, because you're not asking me any questions until I force you. Think you should get. Okay. I will explain you why abstract method is invented, why interfaces are invented. Just have a look at on YouTube video tomorrow. Anyhow, I'll explain. If you understood, try to explain me tomorrow, so that you're confident. What you understand is one thing. Second thing is explanation is the most important thing. If I know, I should be able to explain it. I know everything, but I'm not able to explain me. There is no use. If you don't explain in interview, they don't know you know everything. So try to have some explanation skills as well. Okay. I repeat, just go to some YouTube videos tomorrow or today, whatever time before coming to tomorrow's session on abstract classes and interfaces. Okay. Bye for now.